Good morning, KOTA territory. Welcome to DIY Fridays. My name is Mimi Herrick, and today we're joined by someone who doesn't often get in front of the camera, my good friend and producer, Jasmine Davis. Jasmine, thank you for joining us this morning.
Of course.
I'm so excited because today we're going to be doing painted wine glasses. Last week we did candles, now we're doing wine glasses.
Okay.
So what you're going to need is some paint, some craft paint, and paintbrushes, a wine glass, and an alcohol wipe or some other way to clean off your glass. So we're going to start here just by cleaning off the outside to make sure that the paint has a nice base to stick to. So Jasmine, you are a producer here and you've been here for not quite a year yet.
8 months.
8 months. Yeah. Can you tell me a little bit about how your time has been?
It's been great. I moved here in June, and then I started working here that following Monday, and it's been pretty great so far.
Yeah, I am really glad that you started working here because it's been a lot of fun. Can you tell us a little bit about your background in journalism? How did you get into it?
Well, I really liked journalism when I was like a little kid, probably like in middle school. No, elementary school is when I got into it. I really liked to write, and then I didn't really know what a journalist was when, in elementary school.
Yeah.
And then I really got into it when I went to middle school. I took some journalism classes, and then I pursued it. Well, wanted to pursue it in college. I was actually a biology major at first, and then I switched over to what I really wanted to do, and it was journalism. And I did that. I think I switched over my sophomore year of college, and
you've been
now we're here.
Yeah. And obviously besides journalism, there's things you like to do outside of work. Can you tell me a little bit about some of those?
Well, I really enjoy reading, and I love to binge watch TV. I mean, who doesn't?
True.
But then I also do like to write for the most part, and then I really like to hang out with my friends. I mean, my family's back in Texas and Missouri, so I can't really see them unless I am on vacay.
Yeah.
But yeah, I do like to travel and spend time with my family as well when I can.
Totally. And producing is kind of something that not a lot of people know the ins and outs of. Can you kind of walk us through what your day looks like here?
Well, I go through the stories that we have from our reporters, and then we also go through our rundown and place them in blocks depending on the topic, and then we sort them out like that, and then we also have to be in control of how the show progresses. We have to time it out correctly, make sure all scripts are in. I mean, it's a lot of technical stuff, I feel like.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it's something that can definitely be difficult.
I feel like it's hard to explain.
Do you ever get nervous going into a show?
I mean, yeah, you just never know what's going to happen, like, at all, like, depending on if your videos are in file or if your guests don't show up, which is always not the best feeling.
Yeah.
You have to make sure you have a backup plan, or also be 2 steps ahead or you're in trouble.
Yeah, for sure. I completely understand that.
But yeah, I mean, I just feel like it's just a process, and each day it always turns out a little bit more different than what you expected. But I think that's why I like it. It's always something to keep me on my toes. But also, it's a passion that I really like to do.
Yeah. I mean, producing is a lot of fun. Can you tell me about maybe one of your funniest producer stories?
I would have to say not to talk on one of my fellow anchors, but we were in our health block, and it was a funny moment where
Oh, I know what you're talking about. That was
a funny moment where the word wasn't as quiet as what we thought it was, and it was pronounced wrong. But I mean, I think about that as like a funny time. Yeah. That's like one of my first funny moments, I feel like. I'm trying to think.
Yeah.
What else?
And
I feel like it's always so serious, though, like, for the most part. But I thought that was that made me laugh.
Yes, it definitely It was a funny moment watching that back and even just hearing about it afterwards.
Yeah,
was hilarious.
and then also hearing it from your news director.
Yes.
But yeah, no, I think back to that time.
Tell me a little bit about what you're painting right now.
I'm attempting some blueberries, and it's really not going well at all. They're too far apart. And my stems really aren't the best either.
Yeah.
I'm also on my first one, so.
I kind of
really not
overestimated
great.
my abilities here. I was trying to do like really pretty flowers, but it's just kind of looking like green stems and red blobs.
I only got to one, and it's not the prettiest at the moment.
Well, practice makes perfect, right? We're practicing our painting skills this morning.
Yeah.
Jasmine, you mentioned that you like to read. What are you reading right now, and what's your book recommendation of the week?
Well, thanks to you, actually. Mimi told me I should start reading Kristen Hanna, and I'm currently reading The Nightingale. It's a phenomenal book. I do read pretty slow, so, well, I just got done reading another book, so I love that book. I feel like I would recommend,
It's a hard question.
I would say probably The Great Alone, just because I just read it, and that's by Christina Hanna as well, so
Yeah,
you should check that out.
I do love Kristen Hanna. I agree 100%. If you have not read her work, you need to, because she's phenomenal. So good at writing books about strong, powerful main characters who face a lot of hardships. And I think that's really inspiring to read about a lot. Jasmine, you also mentioned that you like to watch TV. What shows are you watching right now?
Okay, well, I really like reality TV. I mean, I know a lot of people aren't a fan of it, but it's just so good. I mean, it's so entertaining. I'm watching Summer House right now, which is on Peacock, and then I'm watching, I feel like I'm watching a lot of reality TV shows at this point.
Reality TV is like my guilty pleasure. I also love it.
Yeah, no, I'm watching Southern Charm.
Ooh.
So I'm really into that, and then I'm also watching Traders, which these are all on Peacock, guys. So.
So if you're interested in watching,
Go to
you can
Peacock.
definitely check them out.
Well, they're all like Bravo shows, so I mean.
Bravo
like I
does
said,
do really good reality TV.
Yeah, I also like Love Island. I haven't really watched it that much in a while, but that's also on Hulu. But yeah, I'm in my reality TV era.
Yeah, for
again.
sure. And so you mentioned also that you have family in Texas. What has been sort of the most difficult part about being so far away?
See, like, I feel like, oh man, my hand touched this one.
Oh well.
I guess just not being close to them. But I don't know, because I feel like we moved around a lot. Like I lived in Missouri, that's where I'm originally from, and then I moved to Texas, then I moved to Virginia, and then back to Texas, and then here. So I feel like the moving issue isn't really that bad, like the distance, but I just like, I guess not being able to see them all the time, but also my sister just had a baby, like in June, so I guess that would be like the hardest thing right now is because I am an aunt now, so I want to be able to see my nephew.
Yeah, and he is so totally adorable.
He is. He's the cutest thing ever.
What has been your favorite part about living here?
Oh, the weather, because Texas is really hot, and yeah, it's hot, it's humid, and here it's like a really good, like, in the mix. Other than the snow, I'm not the fan of the snow right now.
Yeah, the winter maybe not so much your thing, but you're getting used to it, right?
Yeah, I'm getting used to it, but I do like the weather. Like when I first moved here back in June, the weather was like a complete shock. And my mom's like, maybe I should just move here, because the weather was like in the 70s, and it was just like the perfect temperature, I feel like.
Yeah.
So I really do enjoy the weather here. I do like the hills. I mean, we went hiking a few times.
Oh yeah.
I don't usually hike, so I thought that was really fun, and also just a way to get out and like experience the Black Hills. And the community is really well as well.
Yeah. And how do you think it has been adjusting to some of those things that were maybe a little bit harder?
Like the snow.
Like the snow.
Well, Texas, I feel like it usually is just ice, or black ice. So I feel like the snow here, and then plus the hills, it's not a great experience. Yeah, I'm not a fan of that. It's just because I'm not really used to it, but I feel like I've adapted pretty well for the most part. It's just the hills with the snow that makes me nervous. Or turning. Yeah, turning's not my best either in the snow, but my car is a four-wheel drive, so I mean, I guess that helps. But
yeah, and as we're kind of finishing up our painting process here, or at least I have, make sure that you leave these out to dry for a couple days before you use them, and these cannot go in the dishwasher, or else your paint will be gone forever, which would be really sad. So make sure you hand wash these when you're going to use them, and also be very careful around that rim in case you do get any paint chips. You don't want to end up swallowing it. So again, just be careful. But thank you so much for joining me this morning, Jasmine.
Of course, it was great.
And if you want to tune in next Friday, we'll be here again for another DIY Fridays with Mimi. Thanks so much for watching. We'll see you later.
Bye.